right, we're going.
Here we go. Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the What Say You podcast. I'm Sal Volcano.
I am Brian Quinn.
And today we have very special guests, and we're coming from a very special location.
Yes.
We are in Los Angeles. I'm here at the Beverly Hills.
The cheese store of Beverly Hills.
Cheese store of Beverly Hills.
In a back room that resembles where mob hits take place.
Yes, this is very like Goodfellas.
Yeah,
like thinly slicing garlic type of in the back.
Right.
We're okay. So it's a cheese store in Beverly Hills. It's very popular, and we're like in the back stock room, which is where private meals get made for very important people. I've seen pictures. See, Billy Crystal back here. Absolutely.
All right.
So on and so forth.
Okay, yes. There's a piano. Dom, who we went to high school with.
Yep.
Yes. Dominic works here and is one of my best friends from high school, over 24 years now. He invited us here. He just made us a lovely meal.
Right.
So
we walk in, there's a piano back here.
Yes.
And Dom says, Herbie Hancock played that piano.
Yes, that's right.
So.
And Herbie Hancock, of course, Rocket.
Bro, I played the piano too. You don't open with that.
Yes. It's got some water delivered. Thank
By
you.
the way, let me just... in case you couldn't tell, he is an
Elvis impersonator.
Okay,
no
I see it.
Yeah, so...
What is your name, sir? Martin. Oh, I heard all about you.
Right.
You're a big fan of Ozzy, right?
Okay, quick Ozzy impression.
My question.
Now do the walk.
Tal vez treat me.
Nice.
Now, walk. Let me see the walk. Ozzy's walk.
I like it.
Do a little Elvis for us.
Yeah, Elvis. Quick though.
And special to me.
Do the leg.
Oh, there it goes.
Nice.
Hey, man.
All right,
man.
Martin.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, bud.
All right.
All right, that was Martin, one of the employees of the cheese store, and he was awesome.
Yeah, he captured Elvis.
By the way, that was an original.
That was an original.
That's an original song that he was singing.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was original. He just gets into character and then...
Really?
And then goes.
Takes over, yeah.
All
Same
right.
with Ozzy. Just gets into character, takes over.
That's
That
unbelievable.
wasn't a real Ozzy song.
It wasn't?
No, as a matter of fact, that may have not been English.
Well, and last but certainly not least, we have another very, very, very special guest and friend. You know him. He said, it's work speaks for himself. A very, very popular stand-up comedian on the show Sullivan's on TBS, Mr. Owen Benjamin.
What's up, boys?
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
How are you?
I feel good, man.
Yeah?
Feel real good.
Yeah, we just had a beautiful lunch.
When Dom came in, you could tell he was really excited to be on this because he shined his forehead up. Like he got it going. He got a nice glow. He did a couple curls because he wanted to look, yoked in the t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. Dom just made us a lunch. What did you make us here, Dom?
Prosciutto, burrata, sun-dried tomatoes, and, fresh local breads and stuff else.
There you go. It was delicious.
The best.
We're drinking white wine right now.
Yeah, we're just pounding wine at 5 p.m.
It's moments like, I would say the past 24 hours, because last night we went to the Improv.
Yeah.
Yes.
At your invitation.
Yes.
And
Thanks for
found
coming.
out that you are just the pimp of the Improv, apparently. Like, you walk in, everybody's like, hey, he's here.
I hand out beers.
Friends. You hand out beer to strangers. You go on stage unannounced. You do a set that blows everybody away. You come back down. You buy me shots. And then you're gone without even saying goodbye. You Irish
some rock star shit.
He Irish exits. He's gone. And it's like, holy shit.
That was a blast.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we thank you for inviting us.
Oh, thanks for coming, man.
You completely crushed the room. It was unbelievable. It was effortless.
Yeah.
No, and I'm not being facetious, man. It was unbelievable.
Oh, thanks.
And you went and you bought fistfuls of beers and you just walking through the crowd just handing them out.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but the people that you gave, because there was a table next to where we were sitting.
Yeah.
I guess they were Mexican, right? Kids? Or
yeah, maybe. They
Puerto
were
Rican kids?
either Iranian. They could have been Iranian or
Sure.
Mexican.
It was dark. I couldn't see.
Yeah.
But they didn't like you at first. Because you guys were the two of you were whispering pretty loudly. Like you were doing that. And they couldn't hear the act.
Right.
and like they were giving you two looks and shit, and I was like, great, you two were in a zone, and then you just handed out beers like Father Christmas, and then they loved you. Loved you.
Yeah, there's nothing like a beer and a belly rub.
Right.
If someone's like, "Hey, you're being a dick," it's like, "Have a beer." Oh, you want your belly rubbed? And then it's like, "Oh, who's mad now? You're not mad anymore." It's just like, I think we're all just such basic animals that if you just, it's like what Dom does here. It's like, "Oh, you want some prosciutto, some fresh cheeses? How about some wine?" You're like, "Yeah." It's like Herbie Hancock was here. It's like, "Oh, that's great. I'm happy now." Right. It's just that simple.
This is a very happy space.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things.
You know what I mean?
A lot of good things going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of like wine too, and like it's old school. Like it's like hanging. There's like chairs on the roof. That's like some abstract shit right there.
Take a picture and put
we will take. Do you mind if we take
right?
Not at all.
So, Dom, do you specialize in the cheese or the wine?
You know, a little bit of both, like specialty fooders in general. Like I'm by no means like some kind of crazy sommelier, but I know a little bit about wine, I know what I like, and then obviously the food stuff. The food aspect is what's really important to me.
Now we'll get into this, but just be honest with us. How much of it are you bullshitting when a customer comes in and is like, "I need this, this, and this"? There's got to be some. I mean, unless you're all-knowing.
I'm going to have to assert the Fifth Amendment on this.
He upsells with tapenade. He's like, "Why don't we go with that? Some tapenade." Everything's tapenade, and then he's got the Truffle Brothers swoop in late. And they're like, you guys want some truffles? I'm like, "How much are they?" They're like,
You saw that video.
I saw it. Yeah.
"Oh yeah, it's like 20,000 per mushroom." And I'm like, "All right." I mortgaged my house, and I just started fucking because truffles are good.
That is the truth. Right? They're that expensive.
It's more expensive than blow. I think
It's a fungus. We're talking about a fungus.
but it's like high level shit. They get it from Italy. The Truffle Brothers go to Italy. And it's like this one little field, and they get the shit and bring it all the way back, and it really does taste insane. He cooked some shit with it one night.
Truffle pasta?
There was truffle pasta, and it was just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
It's a mushroom.
It's a mushroom grows on the ground, like it attaches to roots of trees.
Yeah, and pigs
You
find
can't
it.
grow them, you just have to find them.
Right.
Right.
So is there a limited amount?
Yeah, I mean,
How can you not replicate that in a farm? I don't get why you can't just be like,
They can
all
clone.
right, this is the
they
shit.
clone sheep.
Right.
You're telling me they can't grow a fucking
Probably, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe the Italians won't like that.
Right.
Yeah, maybe there is some sort of thing.
I think there is.
Well,
Because I think you could replicate any condition to make truffles.
Probably. Yeah, I guess.
But they have to just find them.
Right.
What?
You could piss off the Italians. It doesn't fucking matter. They're ineffectual as a. And my mother was born in Italy, so I can say this. They're just ineffectual as a country. They're good. They're there to look good, make wine and good food, and fuck.
Yeah.
Right. That's what
But
my
that's
mom
all
does.
there is, though.
So
What else is there?
That's life. They're
What
onto
else
something.
is there?
Right. They're with the Germans and not with the Germans. Nobody knows what the fuck they're
Yeah, that's why the Germans make so many mistakes. Like, because they don't realize that that's what life is. They think it's all about like making clocks
Right.
and Audi engines and shit. That's why 6 million people got killed because they're high strung.
Yeah. It's rough.
Like Italians, even though they made the wrong choice when Mean Mr. Mustache came out in World War II. Mussolini made a bad call, but he wasn't like doing camps and shit.
No.
he just made a bad call.
Right.
It's like Japan,
And
Germans are intense, and I'm part German, so I can say
You
that.
can say that. Yeah. We're coming. All bases are coming here.
Fuck Mussolini. Yeah, I'm part asshole, so I can say that.
Yeah, okay.
No, but that's so funny. Like saying he made a bad call. It's like
He just made a bad call because he wasn't setting up camps and shit.
Right.
He was like, because people liked Hitler before he started making some crazy moves.
Right.
He was Time Magazine Man of the Year.
Was he really?
Yeah, like people were like, he's unifying Europe. It's great. And then it was like, what's he doing in those camps?
Right.
And then shit just started getting weird. And then they're like, oh, we made a bad call with this guy.
he was Time.
We backed the
Is
wrong horse.
is that a joke?
Swear to God, Time Magazine Man of the Year. Henry Ford loved him. Like, it was like people.
Well, it's not like today, right? Where it's just like he put the camps up and then people took pictures and it was on the internet. Like,
Right, no, you didn't know. You were just like, what's going on over there? It was like rumors. Because at first on paper, the dude made sense. It was like World War I crippled Germany. It was done. Like the currency was dead. And then you had this guy, unified Germany, give him pride, all this stuff. From an outsider's point of view, you're like, oh, well, he's doing a good job. And then you're like, wait a minute, but what are they all into? Like, what's their vibe? And then you're like, what's this book? And then it just kept escalating until you're like, oh shit, everyone's dead. Where's the crazy guy? It's like, he killed himself too. And you're like, oh man. It's like, now we got another.
We backed the wrong guy.
Right. And then we backed another bad guy. Like, we were on Russia's team
Right.
against Hitler. And then a new mean Mr. Mustache comes in because he also had a mustache.
Sure.
And he killed more people than Hitler. Like, he was insane.
Well, he just starved him out and like just fucked with him, right? Like that was his thing, or
Retreat and burn. It was called Scorched Earth. Like they would retreat, let the enemy come, and they would burn all their own shit so that no one could eat.
right.
It was like that. It was like the kid with the basketball in your neighborhood, where it's like now no one plays, and they throw the fucking ball in the lake,
Right.
and it's like, well, you just lost your ball too, and it's like, well, I don't want anyone to have the ball. That was the Russians.
What did you? What was your major? Did you go to
History, World War II.
I was like, hold up. You're like, your stuff right
stage.
now.
Well, I love all history, though.
Yeah.
World War II sums up all human nature because it's the worst thing that ever happened.
Right.
So it's like every forces at work for thousands of years just escalated to this one point. And so if you understand that, you understand the whole deal.
Right.
Have you ever watched the documentary, The World of War, the BBC one?
No, is it good?
Holy shit, dude! It's a 26-hour. It's like 26 parts.
Right.
Documentary that was made in the 60s and 70s when Hitler's interpreter was still alive, and there was still like plenty of fucking, and they have all this footage, and it's a BBC production, so it's not American footage.
Right.
They got Russian footage, British footage, fucking
Right.
who else was in the war, like Italian footage, and it's cut from like a non-USA point of view, and they interview everybody. They have a Japanese ace and the American guy he shot down, and they bring them together to interview them, and they talk about
Wow.
it's on Blu-ray. It's fascinating. Lawrence Olivier narrates it. You love it, dude.
I can't wait.
How much is a 26-hour Blu-ray?
No, it's not much. It's not much.
I don't know. I don't believe that.
That's got to be a lot.
I mean, I can look it up if you
I
want.
mean, a 26-hour Bluray.
Yeah, hold on.
Who's seen this? Who's purchased this?
You're looking at him. You can borrow. You don't even have to. You don't have to buy it. But one.
I feel
one
like, you
DVD
know,
at a
like
time,
when you let your buddy borrow a movie, it's kind of expected they watch it. Same with books. Where it's like, what'd you think of Avatar or whatever? But if you're like, hey man, you want to borrow this movie? It's like, yeah. It's like, yeah. Now you have to watch 26 hours of it. Because like then
Every time you see him, hey,
hey,
you
did
watch
you see
that
it yet? It's like, no, I haven't had a fucking week off.
You settle in, man. You settle in.
That's a lot.
I haven't flown to Berlin and back. I didn't need to kill 26 hours.
I mean, it's digitally remastered, guys. Come on.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
$36.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that digital format has plummeted then.
Yeah, it's look at that. Hitler's secretary is interviewed.
We just
26 hours long. Color close-ups of Adolf Hitler taken by his mistress. What are you guys doing here still in this room?
That's true.
Run out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, the funniest thing is Hitler. I mean, obviously he was crazy, but he was like wicked crazy, like kind of funny crazy almost. Like he was addicted to like but like by the end he wasn't even a functioning human. He was addicted to meth.
Right.
Like I find that funny. I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm also part Jewish, so I can say that. But I'm also part German too, so I got every fucking base covered. But yeah, he was addicted to meth.
Was he?
And he
I didn't know
couldn't
that.
stop farting.
Really? Yeah,
That's a true
He had
story.
a club foot.
Yeah, and he was a huge into animal rights.
Didn't he have one testicle?
Yeah, he couldn't get a boner without a woman peeing on him. That's a fact.
It's the second time that's come up tonight, by the way.
Yeah, like no, like when I say funny, I mean like he must have just been in hell.
Wait,
Like,
can we just run down these bullet points? For a
I mean,
second?
his shit is so weird, and he also had Parkinson's. That's
Okay.
why towards the end his hands always shaking. There's like they wouldn't show him anymore because his hands would shake. Like he was full blown crazy. That's what got me so fascinated about World War II. Was like you can blame it on a guy, but he had a whole country doing what he said, and he was crazy. You know, there's 10 Hitlers in Burbank right now, but no one's listening because condos are $600,000. You know, it's like you have to put people in a desperate position to listen to the crazy guy because there's crazy guys everywhere. 1 in 10 people has like sociopathic tendencies, so it's like. You know, I think, 4 of them are in this room right now.
He has one testicle, can't get an erection unless he's peed on. He has a club foot. He has Parkinson's. He's addicted to meth.
He's also huge into animal rights.
Animal rights. That's
Yeah.
Why is that crazy?
Because he was not into human rights.
Yeah,
Right.
like, well, all of a sudden, ethics come into play.
Well, we're talking about animals. I mean, let's not.
It is true. People sometimes care more about animals than humans.
I love dogs. I have 3 dogs.
Yeah.
They're pure souls.
Right.
Yeah.
I have 3 cats. I'm the same way. I love my animals way more than I love my neighbors. Like, if my house burned down and I'm semi-attached.
Right.
Like,
Cats.
Cats first.
Right.
Before I check on my elderly Asian neighbors, like it's cats.
And you're also a fireman.
Yeah.
So that's like legit that you know
Right.
the order. Like you have to make a decision.
Well, it's my own order. Right? Yeah. So yeah. So it would be
You run into like a blazing building. You're like, cats, women, and children. In that order.
Cats, women. Dude, that'd be a funny meme. It's just the Titanic sank and it's just boats filled with cats. Like the cats got the boat.
There's 3 cats on a boat for 500 people. And
Half of these cats are gonna die.
Cats, my friends, women and children, and then dickheads.
So, what do you think Hitler thought about like Jewish people's pets? Did they?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah. Is that where his crossroads meet? Is he like burn that Jew dog?
Right. Is there Jewish animals?
do you think he gave orders like that?
And his puppy. No.
I just pictured a Labrador with like a yarmulke.
Right.
It's like a Jewish dog.
It is Jewish. Like if a dog is over there, is he a Jewish dog? I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't think he made that. I think he was just the crazy guy on the hill.
Right.
I think everyone else just started making horrible calls because like Mean Mr. Mustache did in the beginning, and then he just went crazy. I don't think he was doing anything for like the last 8 years.
Right.
I think he was just out of his fucking mind. You know, like they say Castro's alive. Is he? I don't know. He could have been dead for the last 10 years. No one knows.
I thought he was dead.
But then a picture just surfaced. A picture recently surfaced.
Just backup recording because I don't want to.
Yeah.
I would really regret if we lost any of this.
This is some gold shit.
It's fucking great, man.
But Castro, when Mao Zedong died, and they didn't say he was dead for a while, when like Deng Xiaoping took over, they would like lie and say he was still around. You know, once these like madmen make a machine, the machine matters more than the guy. They're just like sitting somewhere shaking and getting pissed on.
Right.
It's like Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 3, the Mandarin.
Right.
Set up that figurehead.
It's an image.
Yeah.
One of the craziest things is Hitler, was it Hitler or Goebbels? One of them said, if Jews didn't exist, I would have invented them. Because it's like to unify people, you need an enemy.
He did invent them.
Right.
Like, Jews aren't monsters. They weren't like, blood-sucking creatures, but that's what he did.
It's an easy victim because they don't assimilate. It's like, obviously they did nothing wrong, but it's an easy target. You know, it's like the kid that just came to your high school, you know? It's like, let's make fun of the kid from the town over because, like, everyone doesn't know him.
Right.
That's like, obviously.
Or in our case, James Murray. Like, you know, it's just an easy target to go after.
No, he's the guy that's addicted to meth with a club foot, my friend.
Hilarious.
So you actually retained, I guess you were very interested in it, as you said, but you retained this knowledge and you retained this information from your studies in college? Because I majored in finance and I got nothing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, both my parents are professors, so I think I was raised reading a shitload of books. So I just get like really fired up about facts. Like at like Jeopardy, I'm like Jeopardy to me is almost like football games for people. Like I'm screaming at the TV.
Right.
You know, I'm like, that pronunciation would have fucking worked, Alex, you sick fuck. You know? And I used to hate Trebek, and now I love him. Because he's so condescending, and then I did a lot of research on him. And the dude is, like, legit smart. He can speak, like, 13 languages.
Really?
Oh, so
Yeah, because I used to always think he was full of shit. Like, he'd be like, no enchilada. And I'm like, oh, okay, buddy. First, you can say enchilada. Second, you're holding the fucking answer in your hand. Don't, like, make it seem like they should have known it. Right. And then, as time went on, I'm like, wait a minute, this dude might know. Because he would show signs of, like, being cool. And then I'm like, I started doing research, and the dude's, like, smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
He really is serious. He's like, oh, you should have, like, known that one. That's the river in Mongolia. Like, who doesn't know that?
Right.
Fucking ass.
So he does back it up. It's not like
he backs it up. Yeah, that's like those weird pronunciations. It's because he does speak the language.
Okay.
Like when he's like croissant. It's like it's croissant. It's like no, to him it's fucking croissant.
Yeah. There's so many clips of him on YouTube, like being an arrogant dick.
He's so arrogant.
Yeah.
But like if you can speak 13 languages, bring it. You know.
Right.
And he's that intelligent, and he's also a pop culture icon. So he's got both.
Oh, and he's like the spokesman of Aleve.
Right, it's right. He is these days. He gets ass, right? He gets crazy
ass.
Yeah,
He's got a. Same with Sajak. Sajak was on Sullivan and Son. Great guy.
Yeah.
And I just
Was he
remember
when? I didn't
he played Hank's hallucination. Where like Hank started going crazy and he kept seeing Pat Sajak everywhere.
How was he?
Awesome.
That wasn't season 1, was it?
Season 2.
Season 2, that's probably.
Yeah, Sajak is awesome. But it's like sometimes I was looking at the dude, I'm like, how much ass did that guy pull in like the 80s?
Vanna White alone, he must have.
Well, just, I mean, he's on.
There's no way they banged. Do you think they
Are
banged?
you out of your mind?
You think there's no
That's
way
like saying, did Eminem and Rihanna bang? Like, they have to.
Yeah.
You said there's no way they didn't bang?
They had
'Cause
to
I think
bang.
Vanna White is isn't she like, you're saying.
She was in Playboy.
Despite. That doesn't mean she's banging everybody. I thought
Bro, they worked together for decades. Like, if you're around a bartender too long, you end up fucking.
Yeah.
It's like, we're talking about
Right.
people that are together for like decades.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they didn't. You know, I've had female friends that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I thought she was married, like very openly, like.
She was in Playboy.
You're right. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, and if anyone's ever been in the Playboy Mansion, it's like, it's seedy.
Have you been there?
I was in the House Bunny, that movie about I played the butler of the House, the
that's
Playboy
right,
Mansion.
yeah.
I'm reading.
That was better than it should have been, that movie, right?
It's a great movie.
Yeah,
it actually
really
made some
funny.
cash.
That was with what's her name?
Anna Faris, yeah.
Yes.
Because it made like $50 million in the box office. It's actually kind of a hit, but
Yeah.
my part is significant, but people forget about it. I was in 5 scenes, no big deal. You know, I had sensitive
What did
nipples.
that tell you to do when you were walking around the mansion?
He told me to put my shirt on because because Sandler always made the hilarious weird call that I was better looking than I was. Like, he would always be like, "Oh yeah, like you're playing this like stud character, like a shirt." I'm like, you know that I'm like borderline an alcoholic, right? Like, I'm not ripped, you know. So I would always, like in Chuck and Larry and House Bunny, I was shirtless, and I'm like desperately trying to get in shape. Like, now I'm in much better shape at 33 than I was at 27,
Right.
and so that's why I wore a vest, because I had like fucking love handles.
Right.
I'm like, if you want me to play like a boy toy, like I have to like cover up some problem areas. Right. So half one day, and I had to like wax my chest and everything, and half one day was like, someone tell him to put his shirt on. And I'm like, buddy, do you want me to read the definition of irony? Like, I'll read it right now if you want. When the actual definition's the opposite of the literal definition. If you want me to say it, I will. Because you're the king of porn. Like, you've been taking off shirts for fucking decades.
I think he had me keep mine off because I think he'd admire my titties.
Yeah, he'd be into it. Oh, and he also was playing the piano once, and he told me I had to keep it down. It was like 5 p.m.
I love that he's just a cranky old man to
He's
you.
a cranky old man.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. Like, I like him because...
Do they really fuck him, these girls?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, the dude's the man. I'm not going to take anything away from him.
You can't. None of us can take it
No,
away
he
from him.
is.
Right.
I'm just stating facts that the dude did tell me to put my shirt on. And that's literally... That's like... You know, what's a good definition? It's like it's like if Dom did what? Tell you to stop taking creatine pills and crushing iron at the gym.
I've been in jail like months, years.
It's like Dom being like, stop being so ethnically Italian. It's like, but that's what you are, Dom. His name's Dom. He's from Staten Island. Staten Island's a great town, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I'm in that movie, Staten Island Summer.
Yes.
I'm excited about that. That's great.
I'm excited to see you in it, man. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's anything Staten Island. Whenever anything has Staten Island in it, for us, it's still exciting. We just feel like a small town nobody knows about.
Right.
It's becoming cool.
Staten Island's wicked
You
cool.
you guys have a lot to do with it, but Staten Island is without a doubt, like, it used to be, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and
Yeah, the Forgotten Borough.
Yeah. And now, like,
Right.
I don't know, it's fucking. And watching you, you always have a Staten. Well, at least I see a couple of episodes. You have a Staten
Dude, we
Island,
put
so-
Staten Island t-shirts on every episode again.
That's awesome.
I got it fucking there, man. Like we, and you know what? It's a good feeling because we're not fucking men of the people. We're not walking amongst the crowds on Staten Island because you don't walk on Staten Island. But like, if we go to the mall, like I hear it a lot. People are like, "Thank you for not."
That's like burning
betraying
Pittsburgh,
Staten
yeah.
Island, as like a shithole
Right.
full of fucking Guidos and assholes. Thank you.
You guys are bringing
Weird a bunch.
street cred to Staten Island.
I mean, through.
Well, the Who
unlimited
did it
noise.
first.
No, with the
not-
reruns, you guys are beating Modern Family. I've done the math. You guys are getting like pretty powerful on True TV. Because that's the thing. If you just
how do you know this? I didn't know.
TV by the numbers, I'm obsessed with this shit. I watch it all the time. All day long. I have like producer network friends that like email me all the breakdowns. I used to be in a box office fantasy league.
Get out! I didn't.
Get
Swear to God, I used to like we used to
That's
bet
hysterical.
we used to bet on like how much money movies would make. And then once I got in the TV world, I stopped caring about, like, movies just seem weird to me now. It's like everything's a reboot. It's like, Etch a Sketch, the movie. You remember Etch a Sketches, right? And you're like, all right, guy, I'm fucking done with it. But, so, like, TV is fascinating, like, what works and what doesn't. And, like, especially when you see what everyone's talking about in Hollywood, and these shows are getting, like, a 0.4, and then, like, you know, you guys are, like, 1.6.
Yeah.
You know, it's, like, huge.
Ours goes up and down, but I thought it was, like, we were on the Conan show last night.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure we'll talk about that later. And we were so nervous and excited because of, you know, what that means in that level. And then somebody was like, you guys get higher ratings.
Way higher ratings.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, shit, I never even thought. I was like, I'm on TV every week.
He's daily.
Right. That's
hard.
right. Yeah.
And he's at 11. It's harder.
All right.
I
didn't mean to insult Andy Richter over here. I'm sorry, Andy.
Leno does it just fine. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I like the Conan show a lot. I think that's great to do because it gives you, like, I think like shows like that get you new audiences, and like Conan's fans are so like intense and like loyal that, and it's a young demo, which is always what the ads are chasing. So I think doing a show is really helpful.
He was, I mean, to us, he was thoughtful. He picked the clips. He said, I want to show 3 clips because I want people to get an idea of what the show is, because if they watch the show, they're going to love the show. So, I mean, you know.
Well, he's a very like smart and thoughtful person.
I don't say that the ratings thing to say anything, you know.
No, but you're right, though. It's
I know, but I'm just
talking about being nervous. And
like the weird, like that's the weirdest thing about shit now. It's like, I've done YouTube clips that have higher ratings than my show. You know, it's like there's no right answer. Like back in the day, you'd think like, oh, TV, you know, internet. Now it's like there's guys on YouTube that are getting like millions of hits.
Sure.
And they're young people, and they're people that are watching the whole thing.
Tens of them.
Sometimes I'm worried that some of our ratings are because people fell asleep.
Hey,
I'll take it too, but it's like sometimes I'm like, how many of these people just left the TV on?
Right.
But, you know, TBS is killing shit, though. I mean, Big Bang Theory lead in, True TV's killing shit, TNT. I mean, Kunin, like all those guys, that whole Turner family is just smart as shit.
Yeah, every story we hear about Kunin, and
Kunin's the man, and his son's cool. I'm buddies with his son. Yeah.
Kunin is the president of
all of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
He's the guy up top, and every story we hear about the guy, he was a Coca-Cola guy, right? Like he ran Coca-Cola.
Yeah, we're talking about that. It's like you need the guy that like approaches entertainment as business.
Yes.
Because if it's somebody that like secretly kind of wants to be an actor, it's like a whole different energy.
Right.
Where Kunin's just a straight cold like assassin.
Do you deal with like on Sullivan & Sons? Do you deal with like network executives who?
Yeah, Michael Wright, awesome. I mean, that's the thing. All the way up to the top, they're just great. Like Kunin is so like warm too. It's like when we got our season 2, he told us like at dinner in Atlanta, and then like his son will come out to my shows when like I'm there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like they have like a family mentality, and I think they just work hard and they want to do the best for the network, and that's why I'm so pumped to be a part of it.
That's awesome.
Because some networks are run like asylums. You know, it's almost like the World War II analogy. Like, it's almost like the World War II analogy where it's like, I wrote a paper once about Hitler where it was like, no one knew if he even ordered the shit. There's a thing called Will of the Fuhrer where people just started guessing what the leader wanted and would do even crazier shit.
Right.
So there's networks like that are run badly. Like, you can, like, that's why I was obsessed with World War II, because every corporate structure you can learn from it. Like, how to do something horrible, like Mean Mr. Mustache, or do something great, you know? And it's like, people would guess what he wanted.
Right.
And like, there's networks.
That's a fucking big guess.
But
it's he wants us to kill these Jews.
Right. Because if you read his book, like, it doesn't say kill all the Jews, but someone could have been like, let's really impress this guy.
A real young like, Nazi go-getter guy.
I know. And some people like, will be like, yeah, it's not comparable. It's like everything's comparable. Like, microcosms are how I learn. Where if, like, something huge, I apply to something very simple. Like, that's how, like, you can learn from, like, World War II how to, like, order a coffee. And if someone's like, it's not comparable, it's like, no, everything's a ratio. It's like an X in math. It's like, it can be any number you want, but it still is the same on either side of the equal sign.
Sal, we gotta stop getting these smart motherfuckers on the show. We look like just two stupid meatballs from Staten Island.
I got this.
Bro, I'm from Syracuse. Like, we want to be in Staten Island real bad. Like, Syracuse, New York was banking on the fucking Erie Canal. Like, we're like, dude, this is going to be a money stream for a long time. They're like, donkeys are going to pull shit real slow. And
goes right back to the smart shit.
I know.
I got this. Hold on. So you having this balls Now these girls fuck him. Now let's just say I'm the girl. I'm gonna just play devil's advocate. I'm the girl. I don't care who he is. I can't put balls that old in my mouth.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You got him.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Tune into Sullivan and Sons Thursday night at 10 o'clock. Don't bother with True TV.
do. And watch my character who wants to have sex with his mother. Like, that's the funniest storyline is that fucking...
I love that.
I'm like an incest kid.
It started early on, too, because like every time she would say something really inappropriate, just be like, oh, well.
Yeah, we're leading up to it. Because that's... The thing that makes it likable is I don't actually want to like physically have sex with my mother, but we're like obsessed with each other. And I think a lot of like people know that dude that was like single mom, and like they spent way too much time together and emotionally started playing the role of dad.
Mommy's little boy.
Yeah, so it's like I'm mommy's little boy. I'm her special little boy. And it's like I think from like my mom used to teach classes in breastfeeding. Like she was a professor and then quit to raise us and had the bug. So she got in this La Leche League, which is all moms breastfeeding and talking about sore nipples and their problems and all this shit.
Sure.
And so every week it would be like 20 women with their boobs out breastfeeding in my living room.
No.
From the time I was born until like 15. So I like literally was like the precious boy to like groups of women.
So it's tits out.
Yeah, because they acted uninhibited because I was a child. So I got to just like listen and understand the whole gender.
Right.
And just understand the impossibility of making them happy, but how worth it it is though.
Right.
Because like when you see the fire in their eyes, you're like, okay, it's all worth it, all the crying, all the, you know, the bad presents. Like when you get a girl, you know, it's like all the things that I messed up with. And then it's like, oh, it's worth it. You know?
Dude, that's an insightful shit. You're like a prophet.
I'm doing this whole podcast from across.
You should let him down.
How many siblings did you have?
I got an older brother. He was like a lumberjack. He used to like cut down trees. Now he teaches high needs kids. He's really, really an intense, great guy.
Okay.
Super intense. Like he envies everyone. Like he wants to be everyone else, which is kind of good because it's like charming. Like he could be like, bro, I just went to Walmart. This fucking guy just says hi all day. I want to be that guy. He's like, why am I a teacher? He's like, I should just say hi. Like, that's the one arm joke that I did the other night.
Yeah.
About, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I got, long story short, I get pulled over from a cop. It's a true story. Talking on my cell phone and driving. I start arguing with the cop. I'm like, why is that illegal? He's like, because you have to operate a vehicle with two hands. I'm like, is it illegal to be a one-arm driver? And then it keeps escalating until I get handcuffed. I'm like, you couldn't handcuff me if I was a one-armed man. So I got that like thought from my brother because he really is like that. He's like, bro, my buddy went to prison. I'm like, that sucks. He's like, fuck that. 2 years, no rent. He's like, dude, the guy's a genius. He never has to think about what to wear. He just wears the fucking uniform. He's like, my life sucks. And the dude is like captain of the football team, you know, like legend. And he just always wants to be everybody else. Anyone. He could be like, dude, look at that mouse. It fucking loves cheese. Like, I want to love anything like that mouse loves cheese. And that's why he's good with autistic kids, because people will like pity high needs kids. They're like, put him in a corner, the kid's fucking weird. Now my brother, he's like, dude, Michael can't speak, but he can draw a perfect circle. He's like, I want to be Michael. And like the kids like vibe that and know that it's real, so like they learn so much from him. He always gets like, you know, awards. Like he's such a good teacher because he literally isn't, he's envious of like high needs kids, you know? And
that's amazing. Dude, he sounds like, what a character. That sounds like a great character.
Oh, dude. And also talking to him on the phone, like I can only answer 1 out of 20 calls because I'm like, how you doing, man? He's like, he's like, what are you up to? I'm like, I'm probably going to the gym. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, just, thinking about the fact we're all going to die someday. I'm like, bro, it's like 2 p.m. on a fucking Sunday. I'm like, I can't handle this intensity.
It's that intense, huh?
Oh, I mean, it's just like, and whenever we're having a great time, he has to like, he's like, bro, how great is this? I'm like, it's awesome. He goes, it sucks one of us is going to die first. And I'm like, what? I'm like, we're on a fucking Ferris wheel. You know? It's just like, I'm like, just let me enjoy the slow circular motion. It's like, no, you're right, man. You're right. Like, I'm almost like the hedonistic side, where I just want to eat it or fuck it, you know? And my brother's like, let's think about it for 20 years.
Right.
And be, like, really intense about it.
Navel-gazing type of guy.
Right. So we kind of yin-yanged each other, but we're still really similar.
How do they receive your stand-up?
They dig it, you know. I mean, my parents were like hippies, so they're like, you know, whatever makes you happy. They never pressured me to like.
Well,
make
not
money
even
or
the
anything.
choice of it, but the actual material. Do they?
Oh, they dig it, yeah. Because I'm just myself. I mean, in the beginning, maybe not, because I think I was a little more jarring, because I was kind of insecure about stand-up, so I would like have to try and do some witty joke that was like shocking. You know, that's like a mistake a lot of young comics make. And over time, I just became myself. It's almost like Buddhist. It like takes years to become yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
So. Yeah, so now they like really like it because it's basically just me on a stage.
Right.
But back in the day, they'd be like, I don't like, why did you say that? And they're right. And back in the day, I used to defend it and be like, you don't get comedy, Mom. You have to make abortion funny.
Right.
And they're like, don't talk, like, why would you talk about that? And I'm like, when looking back, I'm like, she saved me a decade if I had just fucking listened and been like.
How long, when did you first start doing stand-up? Like, what was that?
18 or 19, Kevin Hart came to my college back when he was a college act, and I opened for him, and I did really well because my dad's a public speech professor, so I was like had a knack for it.
Sure.
And I just was like, oh, this is great. And then Kevin Hart just kept, you know, now he's like,
He's blown up.
no one's bigger.
Yeah.
He's huge. But it's like, and Greg Fitzsimmons, I opened for him, and I never like I was going to go into law school, and then the economy tanked. I was either going to be a teacher or a lawyer. I just wanted to speak publicly. I didn't give a fuck how. And then I realized most lawyers just read contracts, and I was like, that's awful. But I wanted to be the guy that's like, my client is innocent. He's not guilty because he's black. Fuck you. You know, like I wanted to be the guy to get people off.
Right. And then it was just like, I mean, it was in college was the first time you got up?
Yeah, and then and then me and my buddy went to Key West to like play music for tips and just be assholes.
Yeah, where?
His dad lived there.
Yeah.
Like Duval Street and all like
I
the
love
Green
Key West.
Parrot and all that shit.
I go fairly often.
And we would just play for like the cruise ships.
You know what? When I say fairly often, I mean I've been like 5 times. Sorry.
You just admitted you're a gay guy.
Yeah. Oh, no, totally. Right. Why? Is that a problem? No, I like it down there. So
It's
you're
awesome.
down there. Wait, you live down there. What are you talking about?
I was there for like 4 months.
Right.
Yeah, and it was like, but it was like Groundhog Day every day. Just like, just on the street playing shit. Because we had a free place, so we just had to make enough money to like drink and eat.
That's cool.
Okay.
And so then we went to LA. He wanted to be a screenwriter, and I just started fucking around. I just had no direction, you know. And then, like the great band, I got One Direction. I just started doing stand up, and I just loved it. Sandler helped me early. Nick Swartzen.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick's awesome, right?
Nick's the man. Yeah, he got me in. Yeah, I opened for him for years, and Anthony Clark. He's kind of been out of it for a while, but he was on Yes Dear and all these guys. You know, great guys.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like Leno, you know, Vince Vaughn for, you know, Sullivan, all these guys. I've had such great mentors and help.
Because I mean, look at I thought of like we went to see you last night, and I was blown away because like there is everybody that we saw was pretty good, but like you just had you made it look effortless. You just went up there and you did it, and I said to you, I said that after you, I said and you said, well, I've been doing it a long time, man, and I was like is that the secret? Like, that's the secret, right? You just go and do it.
Well, and just entitlement, I think.
Yeah.
I think, like, you get to a point where you're like, it's very, very similar to sex, I think.
Yeah.
Where, like, if you're, like, in the beginning, I'd be like, oh, my God, my dick's in a girl, you know? And it's like, I want to make your body. And then you get to a point where you're like, and then it flips, and you're like, I just want to fuck. And then then it's like, we both like being here. Right. And that's how I feel about the crowd, where it's almost like we're just, like, doing a gentle and hard pump. And it's like, we both want to be here. I'm confident that we both want to be here. It's like, I've almost like fallen in love with the crowd. So
Dude,
now it's like,
that reads. It's so you went on stage for whatever you wanted. Like maybe you wanted for 20. I don't even know. But it was like you immediately had like your own relationship with the crowd. You weren't talking at them. It was immediately like, we're hanging out with Owen. Like it just was like an all-encompassing thing.
yeah, and it took time. You know, it's like I literally fell in love with the crowd. So now it's almost like an old couple you see that can just say whatever.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I've done so much, you know, and I've been like, my blades have been sharpened on the road. Like, you have to find what's funny in chat. You guys know, you guys tour. It's like Chattanooga, Seattle, Chicago, Miami. Pick a joke that works everywhere. And that's why these hipster fucking comics will attack me for being broad. And I'm like, Hey, I'm sorry. I go for laughter. I like the sound of laughter and a chick coming and the sound of food being made on a stove. Like, this is my life, and you're not going to fuck it up just because you have funny hair and you live in Silver Lake. I'm like, you're not going to fuck it up for me.
You would kill in like the kitchen of a whorehouse then.
Yeah. It'd be insane. Those like that Boogie Nights where it's like, I like simple things. Like lollipops in my mouth and butter in my hands. Yeah. And it's like, and then you do like, we're talking about USO stuff. It's like, you see what works in Iraq. Then you see what works in fucking England. It's like you start getting like the feel of human nature, like the pulse of it. And then that's where the beauty is. Or it's like you're not just trying to make, like I'll do stuff like regional stuff. Like in Miami, I'll do a joke about how instead of saying haha, they say ja ja, like ja 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 ja, because they're all, the Hispanic jokes. Right. And that'll like kill extra hard for those guys. But you start like the meat of it is like love, traffic, music, dogs, like shit that like hits people.
Right.
And all these fucking hipsters, man, like they come at me and it's like, they're like, it's not smart. I'm like, dude, smart is doing well.
Right.
Yeah.
What's a hipster joke? Like, give me. Could you?
It's all like clever. It's almost like puns.
Right. Give me. You know.
I literally. Well, there is some hipsters that are fucking phenomenal, like Zach Galifianakis.
Okay.
Like back in his day when he was doing stand up. See, that's the thing. That's why there's no bad thing in comedy. Like, anything someone says, I'll show you someone who's awesome at it.
Right.
Hipster comedy, I fucking can't stand. But Zach Galifianakis is so good at it.
Yeah.
Like, he'd be like, this is my impression of what was it? A condescending illiterate. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I don't read. And it's like, it's very cognitive, it's like clever, but it's so funny. Like, he was so good at it that I'm like, all right, guy, that's fucking great.
Right.
But usually I hate that shit where I'm like, oh, that's clever. It's like, I'm not here to like be like, oh, that's cute. Because I was raised around those people. Like, college professors are very like, I did a show once for my parents' friends, and shit that would kill would be like, who was that existentialist guy? It was Sartre or Sartre or whatever. And I was like, yeah, Sartre, his big image was him being on the iceberg because it showed, the loneliness of humans. That was the big photograph that got him famous. I go, who took the picture? And it's like, it's funny, and it like like everyone's like, but it's still fucking clever. It's like, I want people to be like, this is the pain in my life, and you're making it better.
Right.
Like, no one's like, God, I've had a long week. I just want someone to address that fucking photo of Sartre on an iceberg. I want someone to be like, I fucking hate my wife, but she's the mother of my kids, and I also love her.
Right.
Make it fun for me again.
Right.
And that's my life mission. And these fucking, the Andy Richters of the world can't hold me back. I did a joke on Twitter. I said, women marry their best friends, men don't. And that's as much mocking men as it is women. I think it's a very balanced joke. It's a tweet. Right. It's not even like a flagship tweet. I possibly would have deleted it if it didn't get a lot of retweets.
Right.
I was like,
oh, do you do that?
I do that sometimes, yeah. Like, sometimes I use Twitter to test shit out. And then someone started arguing with me, and I started backing it up. I'm like, no, I'm not saying women aren't our friends. They're our companions. But once you're, like, marrying, it's not a friendship anymore. It's a contract. It's like, if a woman has a fucking meltdown and ruins your birthday, you can't draw a dick on her forehead when she falls asleep. Like that's friendship. That's not friendship. You can't brag about all the girls you fucked to your wife.
Right.
You can't, like, when your friend leaves, he doesn't take half your shit. It's clearly not a friendship for a man.
Sure.
For a woman, women have very complicated friendships. They love that, like, super deep shit. Men it's kind of like what you guys do. It's like, we like what would you do and would you rathers. We like hanging out. We're fucking there for each other. But it's very different than female friendship. So all these feministy chicks start like writing in. It's like, oh, it's because men don't respect women, blah, blah, blah. And I can back this shit. I'm like,
but why? Like, why would they say that?
Because they're insecure. And I know that, but I can't not fight back. As I said to you guys earlier, I was a heckler at a Renaissance fair. Like, I have a fight in me.
Right.
So you're better at it than me. Like, you can be like, I'm not going to try and change your mind. Like, that's why, the Dalai Lama is still alive, and, China's trying to ruin Tibet. It's like, because he's just not engaging. And I have a hard time with that. And, I can tell them all day long, it's like, fact, a man is twice more likely to promote a woman than a woman boss to promote a woman. These are facts. Like, men are not their fucking oppressors. We want to make them happy. Like, a male instinct is to protect and support women. It's a fact. So it's like, sometimes there is sexism.
There's a lot of shit that men do to women.
Well, yeah, but that's also what men do to men.
Sure.
I mean, there's more male-on-male rape than there's male-on-female rape.
Is there?
If you consider the prison system, yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like rampant. Men are just awful.
But women don't really.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's
like,
that, I guess, is
yeah.
right.
It's like we're fucking maniacs.
Right.
Like we rape each other.
Sure.
Women. Like I do not say we. I do not commit rape. When I say rape, I'm talking about the gender.
Anybody
like,
that listens to this podcast,
atrocities
is smart enough
happen.
to get it.
Atrocities happen. Men are the people who are selling arms or starting wars.
Sure.
But that being said, what we do to each other is worse than what we do to, like, we're just fucking awful animals, you know? I mean, I love being a man, but it's like, World War II, look what happened. We're not like, they weren't like massacring women. I mean, they were, like Hitler was, but like Civil War. Men would line up and just mow each other down.
Right.
Just like not even hide behind trees. Like, they'd just be like, I'm going to kill all these other men. Like, men are fucking crazy.
Sure.
So women aren't like that. Women are more supportive of each other. I used to do a bit about how women are communists, men are capitalists, where it's like, no one's more supportive than when shit's bad than women, where it's like, if your 4 girls are out, the one having the worst time dictates the night. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, everyone's having fun. Oh, Brian's here. It's like, Brian's an asshole. It's like, Tina's sad. You know, it's like Voltron, get the unicorn, we're fucking out of here, right? Men cut the weak.
Right.
Where it's like someone's like, yo, man, I'm fucking bummed out. It's like, get away from us. We have good energy here. You know, but the opposite's true. The opposite's also true. Everything's a coin flip. Where it's like, men support strength. Where it's like, oh, my buddy just got a show, man. I love that guy. He's the fastest. Make him captain. Women are like, she's the prettiest. Tell everyone she has herpes. You know, they're very mistrusting of each other. It's in their fucking DNA. Sure. I'm sorry, not all. 80%. You know, and it's like, so Andy Richter writes in, out of nowhere, and by the way, I'm a fan of this guy. Sure. So it's like weird that he would stoop low to fucking attack a moron like me. Like, he's so above me.
But you know what, even before we even get to this point, like, I just want to examine your tweet because it was nothing.
That's it. That was the entire tweet was... This is it. It's not like some Anthony Jeselnik psychotic, like, Boston fucking bombing tweet. Right. We're talking about women marry their best friends, men don't. And not only do I find it funny, I think it's true. Sure. And so Andy Richter's like, that's not true. You know, he starts talking. He's like, oh, and by the way, tip from a pro, men and women are different is hacky, it's a snooze fest. He like writes this to me, and I'm like, I want to be like, buddy, we're on the same fucking network, bro. Like, unify here. Right. And I understand he was probably trying to defend some girl, you know, and he probably overextended.
Or
because,
his image.
Yeah, but it's like he wasn't even involved in this fight. It was just because some girl was coming at me who has a big following. And I even direct messaged the girl. I'm like, we can talk about this. You know, like, my mom's a women's lit professor. My dad's a flamboyant opera singer. Like, I'm not exactly the enemy here. You know, and she's like, and we're going back and forth, and I won't leave her name out of it. I'm sure she's very funny. Like, I follow the girl. Okay. And then Richter, and then Steve Byrne writes in, he goes, great call, Andy. By the way, don't watch the last 48 minutes of my special. And I was going to write, great call, Andy. I'll tell that to all the best sitcoms and movies ever made. Sure. And it's like, no one has the right to fucking say what's funny or not. I understand there's words you can't use. There's, you know, I would never say the N-word because black people have told me it's offensive to them. Right. To me, it connotates shit that I can't back up. I don't even want to go down those roads. It's not part of me. Right. I'm not going to mock victims. I'm not going to do this shit. But am I going to talk about my life and what matters to me? Yes. And if Andy Richter wants to, like, criticize me, it's like, buddy, you can say that to my face or whatever. I have a big problem with public bashing. It's like, pull me aside. Be like, hey, man, that's weird. Don't say it in front of a million people, which is the kind of followers that these people have. It's like, if you want to talk shit to me in front of a million people, you better fucking fight me. Because shit's like real now. Like the other night, and you know, we finally talked it out.
But it's point of view, too. It's your point of view.
Oh, there's no, by the way, there's no wrong answer in comedy. Right. And it's like, I think some of these Steve Byrne calls them house cats. He didn't call them that directly, but it's a phrase we use about these people that, like, you guys are not house cats. You're like real men that are in the world and understand shit. Because some girl was like, you better watch yourself or you're going to get fucking beat up. I go, no, I'm not. I never get beat up because I know my place. Right. I'm not going to tell someone above me what to do who can fucking kill me. Right. Like, I'm not going to tell Jay-Z that he offended me. Right. He will put me in the desert and no one will know where I am. Right. Like, I'm not going to tell an MMA guy that I don't agree with, you know, they're fighting because it's bad for society. No, because that guy is above me. I know my role. Right. Like, just as a man, like, that's one thing men are good at is knowing their role. Like, we follow ranks. Like, we know the shit. if you're going to come at the alpha dog, you better fucking win or you're going to die.
Right.
So it's like, that's why we're,
So how did it all shake out? Is it just
kind of, he finally kind of said, sorry, I don't want to be the joke police, whatever. And I'm like, because I told him, I'm like, listen, buddy, if you want me to take it down, I will. Like, I don't find it offensive, but if it really hurts you, and I was serious, but also kind of trying to make a point where it's like, you realize that you're trying to censor me, and every comedian that goes into comedy has a rebellious nature. Like, we're the ones that's like, fuck this, I'm going to say what I think.
Right.
And no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear, like, that you're censoring someone.
right.
And by the way, saying men and women are different is hacky just offended 95% of comedy. So if he's trying to amass an army, he just did a bad job at recruiting. And so I sometimes like to make that point where and the fucking crazy thing is I like Andy Richter.
Sure.
Like, it came out of nowhere. It's like, you just got attacked by kale. It's like, what? That, like, lovable cherub? Like, the kind of pudgy guy that's, like, really likable that just kind of stuck by Conan's side through thick and thin. Like, why is that guy attacking me? That guy seems like a cool fucking dude.
Yeah, he was real nice to us.
Yeah, same with Conan. Like, Conan's a nice guy, too. It's like, why is this camp coming at me for that tweet? And I see tweets all the time where I'm like, all right, that's fucking weird. That was not a weird tweet. That's literally like being like, oh my God, I'm so hungry today. And people being like, there's people starving in Africa. Right. And you're like, bitch, you got to shut up, Well, and I say bitch about Andy, not about a woman, because I'm not going to call a woman a bitch. But I will call a man a bitch.
At least not with the microphone on. I wonder, like Jeselnik's, like we had said before, like, he put out some pretty fucking
horrible
tweets. His shit with the Boston Marathon was just like, we talked about it on Raw Dog Comedy.
Right. It's horrible. Right? Yeah, I love that guy, by the way.
He's fucking
not Jeselnik, the Raw Dog guy. Yeah.
And I know he asked that question, hey, is there anything you find offensive? And I quoted Jeselnik's tweets. I said, do I think he shouldn't say it? No. If he wants to say it, and that's what he finds funny, go right ahead.
Right.
Buddy. Like, I'm not going to tell you not to say it. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's like the old, was it Thomas Jefferson or somebody, one of those guys said, I hate what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it.
That's it, exactly.
Right.
And it's like, I don't, like, why...
But that's how it should be.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would disagree with
I would
that.
never censor the guy. I would exactly. But does it affect you?
Not everything's for everyone.
Exactly.
Like, some people think our show. Some people come up to us and are like, "Your show is so stupid." Right. I literally am like, "Oh, sorry, you don't like it." Because I don't know. I mean,
hilarious.
What am I gonna? I mean, I say it's not for everyone, but
But it is kind of though. You guys are just doing like bros hanging and making each other laugh. Like that's universal. One of the most, like, kind of like what I was talking about. That's a universal core thing that people want to watch and laugh at. If someone says that's stupid, it's like fuck you. Like, I want to hit their head so they're stupid now. Where I'm like, well, now your brain doesn't work, and that's what happens in the jungle. Because it's like that happened to me the other night. Because I'm like a 6'7" guy, and like these hipsters, 4 of them, came up to me after a show, and it's a show I did very well on. And one of them was like, you crossed the line, bro. Because I was riffing with some Asian guy about how they fucking play the violin and not the bass or some shit. Like, funny stuff. And I'm doing shots with the Asian guy after. Like, we became friends. And all of a sudden, it's these hipster house cats that are like, yo, man. And so I start jawing with them.
These were comics or not?
No, these are like just hipsters.
Okay.
And I'm like, buddy, if you're going to come in my den, like the Improv, like if you're going to come in here, you better have something to say. Right. And I'm like, and I literally thought he was joking at first. I'm like, oh, that's funny. Yeah, I went too far. And he's like, no, seriously. I'm like, bro, like, you're wearing fucking black rimmed glasses. Like, I can break those, you know? And so we go out to the parking lot. Long story short, we're in the parking lot.
Oh, got that far?
Oh, yeah. 4-on-1, too.
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God.
This happens?
Yeah, and by the way, it was a jazz trio that was playing on stage. And one was a saxophonist. And like, so then the saxophone guy starts, being like, yeah, man, who the fuck do you... I go, bro, you suck at the saxophone. I didn't want to say it. I go, because I'm a classical piano player. I'm like, listen, buddy, like, you saw what I do. I'm a musician. I'm 1,000 times better than you as a musician, and I'm a comedian. I'm like, if this is your fucking thing, you better quit now, because you can't even play C blues. And that, like, really pissed him off. And then they, like, start coming at me, and one guy's like, you're a piece of shit. And then I fucking flinched on him, and one guy fell down.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
I go, buddy, I would never hit you. I have too much to lose. I go, but I want to let you know that world exists.
Right.
They're like,
right.
things can escalate. Because Staten Island's a tough area. Syracuse is a tough area. It's like, I'm nice because I, like, know consequences.
Right.
Like, if you just, like, I'm a stranger. Like, they don't fucking know me. Like, we can all talk shit to each other, but, like, this is a stranger poking my chest. I'm like,
right.
I'll break your fucking face.
Right. You know what's crazy to me is these guys went to a fucking comedy
They were
show.
They were the musical act on stage.
Okay.
And so they would be sitting there while I do the show, and so I would like comment on them, and that's why I was like making fun of the Asian guy because he was a bass player.
Well, what I don't get... Oh, so they even knew him?
Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
And you were having shots with
Totally.
them, and then they're defending...
And by the way, because they can't drink. That's another thing about hipsters is they can't drink.
Sure.
They become 21st birthday girls.
Right.
You know, they're like, oh, man, it's like, buddy. That's another thing about Staten Island guys and like Syracuse guys and a lot of the country is you learn to drink and not be insane because someone will crack a whip if you're too fucked up. Like if you're like, I fucking you guys, like then you're not invited. Like that's what I was talking about with men. It's like you make cuts.
Right.
You know, it's like, well, you're not part of the crew if you fucking freak out every time you drink.
Right.
So these guys don't have that because they live almost more of a feminine life. Like they wear tight jeans and, you know, they do their hair for an hour and then they like drink and get all fucking weird. And it's like, bro, they act like, because you can't hit a girl. I get that. But they are almost using that for them too, even though they're men. They're like, you can't hit me because I know all the up and coming rock bands. And you're like, buddy, you're fucking not strong. Like,
I'm trying to get my head wrapped around a place where someone feels the need to approach you. I don't know. I don't get why. Like we were talking about this earlier about just putting your energy in the wrong place.
Totally.
Like, what is going to come from
nothing. But that's the thing about when you start getting older
wanna
is you
hear
see the end of these people. And that's helped me. You know, that's one reason why I don't get mad at women as much that are like really mean or like these guys because it ends bad for them. Like the universe has a way of just showing them how that ends. Where it's like if you treat people badly, you're mean to people, you attack people. Like it literally, you might as well just do it to yourself. You might as well literally just punch yourself in the face because that's it. And whenever someone like hates something, it means they hate something about themselves. It's like I'm like that's why I try not to hate anybody because it's like if I'm like I fucking hate you, I might as well just say it's me.
Sure.
You know, it's like it's just like most like horrible tyrants. What they hated, they ended up being in the end. You know.
You're an insightful son of a bitch.
I mean, just look at fucking Castro. Like he became everything that he fought against. Like all these, like a lot of revolutionaries that happens to. And you know that's why like people are like you can't keep comparing everything to Hitler. I'm like the big picture is when you do the details. Then when you shrink it down, it's perfect. You know you can compare like that interaction to a revolutionary. Like because a revolutionary hates the most, where it's like I will die to take you down. You know, and then you see what happens 20 years down the line when they become what they hate, and that's like everyday interaction. Like most, you know, India and Pakistan, they both just like fucking love naan and like snakes and shit. Yeah. Like they hate each other. Jews and Arabs, they're both like fairly similar fucking cultures. You know, they're different obviously, but it's not like the people that usually like hate each other they have a lot more in common than they want to admit. Poor black people, poor white people. You know, one's throwing out the N-word, one's saying redneck. It both means ignorant laborer. Like, at the end of the day, you hate what you are. You know, it's like these stupid fucking, you know, and it's like, well, you just described yourself.
Right.
You know, like the rednecks also talk in the movie theater. You know what I mean? It's like you hear them loudly talking. They also don't tip. Like hillbillies don't tip.
Right.
So it's like, you know, the whole like white-black thing. It's like what kind of white, what kind of black, what kind of, you know.
Right.
It's culture, not race, you know.
You ever think about running for office?
Way too many dick pics out there. I mean, there's just way too many dicks floating around. Like when MySpace first kicked out, I'm like, who wants to see my dick? And it was really exciting. Then I realized that, you know, that exists. So luckily, it's just close-ups. Yeah. But, yeah, it might hurt my...
That's how I first found out about you, MySpace.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like
that's cool.
2006, I think.
That's awesome. Yeah, Tenderloins. I remember you guys.
Yeah.
Bringing
and
heat.
then they like, you had a comedy account, and they would rank them, and you were always like in the top there. It was like you and Spade and like I don't even know.
Swartzen, Dane.
Swartzen was up there, Dane, and then I always remember too, Cat Williams, and fucking Mencia.
I was by far the least famous always. Because I used to make...
No one knew who we were.
Dude, it was literally... Yeah, like who you just named. Like, think about one of these guys is not like the other.
Yeah.
You know, Cat Williams, Dane Cook, fucking David Spade, and Owen Benjamin. You know, the fucking guy from Punk'd at the time.
Yeah, but at least you were on TV and you knew Adam Sandler and everything, right? Like all those guys.
And you were doing stand-up.
Right.
We were just assholes from Staten Island with a video camera, and we were.
But you were cultivating a real fan base, though, and it stuck with you guys.
We were, but like the idea of David Spade turning on the computer and being like, "What the fuck?"
We hit number 1 and we knocked out Mencia, who was there for, and we were like, these people must be thinking, who the fuck are we? Like, because
you guys are the Hunger Games. Fucking Staten Island's District 12. And then you guys are like, dude, these guys could fucking kill people. Because that's the beauty of comedy is it's almost like, because there's no social ranks.
Right.
Like, it's not like in movies and directing and shit. It's so common that you're like, how'd that dude get the part? Oh, his dad's the director.
Right.
You know, because it's like acting, as Dan Loria on my show says, you can cut around any asshole. You can make dog shit a daisy with editing, you know?
Right.
And because he hates all modern movies. You know, it's the dad from the Wonder Years. He's like this amazing, brilliant curmudgeon. He's one of the most lovable curmudgeon in the world. He's like, look at this movie. Garbage. He's like, then he'll show me one from like the 30s. He's like, show me where they cut. They don't cut because they could fucking act. And it's like, that's why acting can be bullshit because you can make a movie star out of anybody.
Right.
But comedy, it's the fucking poor man's way out because it's like boxing.
Right.
You know, it's like, that dude just won. It doesn't matter who the fuck his dad is. He just beat the shit out of that guy.
Right.
And stand-up's the same way. It's like, that dude just got more laughs. Like, end of the day, that's a fact. And you can't, doesn't matter who your dad is. You know, it's like, that fucking happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never thought of it that way. Like, our experience was always so insular. Like, it was always just the four of us. Like,
Right.
If you could dig that. Like, we didn't collaborate with anybody. We didn't really have an audience.
You don't have to.
Yeah, we just made videos and put them online. So we didn't even have an audience talking to
It
us.
wasn't like rival comedy troops.
Right, they did.
That's why you guys are such nice guys. You didn't get beaten down by the late O's. I don't even know what the decade's called. The fucking aughts? The singles? The
I
digis?
don't even know what you call it.
Yeah.
It's like the 30s to 40s to 50s, 2000 to 2010 is the fucking zeros.
Yeah.
It was the aughts.
The aughts.
Right? Aughts, yeah.
But aughts sounds like a sailing term.
Like article.
Yeah, like an nautical mile.
You did a video, I remember. I remember your videos, but I remember one you did, might not have been yours, but it's this phrase stuck in my head. Palatial regalia.
Oh, yeah, it's a Nick Swartzen.
That was a Nick one?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember watching that and just being like, I think maybe Andy Milonakis was...
Yeah, it was someone that was addicted to saying palatial and regalia. Yeah, we did like 28 drinks later, all that shit. Day in the life of Nick Swartzen.
Yes.
Yeah, I was in all his videos, but yeah, he was the man. He made great videos.
Did you work with Andy? You worked with Milonakis?
I've met him. I don't know him though, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. We knew him on the East Coast before he came out here.
Oh, sick.
And had his show when he wasn't even doing much comedy. And then he started making those internet videos, and then he got on Jimmy Kimmel and took off. Great guy.
Yeah, Kimmel's killing it too. I mean, that guy's got quite a career.
Yeah.
I've never done his show, but he's cool.
Yeah.
Fallon's killing it.
Yeah.
I toured with him. He's a good guy.
Every story I ever hear about him is nice
He's
guy.
almost so nice, though, that it's like crazy.
Really?
Where I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Because he literally will stand up and shake like the busboy's hand and be like, oh man, you're doing such a good job.
Right.
He's like, you took my bowl away. That was so awesome of you, man. And you're like, is this fucking real?
Is he putting us on this?
Because he's really that nice. It's like insane.
I dig that, man. I really dig that.
I like it too, because
it's true.
Because over time, he's kept proving it real.
Right.
Because at first I'm like, all right, this fucking guy, you know, this Red Sox guy, you know. Because when that movie came out, we all just hated him because we're Yankees fans.
Right.
So like down the line, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm touring with this guy. Not only is he killing every night, not only is he like fucking Jimmy Fallon, but he's like really nice.
Yeah,
and it got to the point where it like made me think he was like a serial killer. And then I was like, no, this is just him. Like he really thinks this way.
Right.
He'd be like, yeah, man, I mean, I just got this water. I'm like getting real hydrated. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I've always considered myself a nice, positive person, but he made me feel like I had a real darkness in me. Like I'd be like in a bad mood and I'm like, fuck, like I can't even share this because
You start to hate it. You hate him.
I did.
Hate him for it.
I seriously,
I'm this fucking asshole that makes me feel horrible about myself for being nice.
Oh, dude! One time, I was gonna open for him, and I was like really broke at the time, and I fly to a city, and he canceled because he had like a hurt back or something, and but I had to I paid my own way and shit, so I just started spiraling because I was like broke, broke. If it was now, I wouldn't give I'm not like rich at all, obviously, but I'm like to the point where if I could fly anywhere and if shit caved, I'd be like, fuck it.
Right.
But at the time, I got dark, so I wrote in this kind of nasty email. I'm like, hey man, you know I love you, but. And I was like, it's fucked up what you did, and blah, blah. And then he just wrote me back one that was just so, nice and right that I was, just sitting alone realizing that I'm a fucking idiot.
Really?
And I still regret writing him a mean email. Because he wrote back, he's like, hey, man, because I was like, hey, it's so funny because one of the things I said was, I'm just, instead of, paying my rent this month, I'm just sitting in a city that I don't know anyone watching Burn Notice. And he wrote back, hey, man, before you go all 1 hour USA drama on me, he's still funny.
Yeah.
And he's like, I told your agents, blah, blah. He's right. I was being a fucking moron. Yeah. And I wrote Jimmy Fallon a shitty email. And it's like, well, that's the only time I've ever done that, and I've never done it since. Where it's like, when you're dealing with a legend, if someone doesn't attack you, you just keep your fucking mouth shut. Be happy you're at the table.
Right.
And that was the only time I've ever done that. And I see people do it all the time. It's a very common mistake. Yeah. Where someone like me runs the light and some open micer guy's like, hey man, it's fucked up. I'm like, bro, you sit down, you earn from me, and you shut your fucking mouth.
Right.
And that's what I should have been with Jimmy, where it's like, just being invited to open for him is an honor. I'm not going to write him a shitty email because I'm out for flight money.
Right.
Am I retarded? Right. That's like a beautiful girl sucking your dick and not having sex with you, and you're like, whoa, dude. And she's like, no, I sucked your dick. And it's like, well, I want in, and I don't want to use a condom. And then she's like, fuck you, man. It's just the same thing, where it's like when you're dealing with a 10 or a superstar, you got to realize that him just emailing you back is a compliment. Right. So
did you work with him again after that, or was that
no.
Oh, man.
And I don't think he holds a grudge or anything. I think that, because they asked me to submit a tape for his new show and whatnot,
right.
I'm sure that, because that's the thing, he's that nice.
Exactly.
There's no way he fucking holds a grudge.
Sure. Right.
But I hold a grudge against myself. I mean, there's definitely a chance that if, given a few names, my name doesn't pop to him anymore because I pulled such a cunty little move. But I don't think that guy holds grudges. I think he's on a different level of just crushing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just...
he might have seen where you were coming from, too, but just kind of set you straight, that's all.
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't necessarily mean that he's got to feel that you're a dick. He might have just felt you were misdirected in it. And he
right. There's a huge possibility that he doesn't remember it or give a flying fuck.
Right.
But it was a moment in my life that I learned from. So that's why I will never do that again. Jerry Seinfeld takes my seat. I don't say, hey, man, I was sitting there. He's like, yeah, I reinvented the sitcom.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you're right.
Take a load off, Jerry.
Yeah.
It also kind of depends on what season of Burn Notice it was, too, because some seasons suck. And some seasons...
Yeah, and I was getting to the point where I'm like, just fucking figure out who burned you,
Right. What's with all the side missions here?
It was like season 5 of Lost. I'm like, bro, stop introducing new concepts. Where are you?
How's that, now you're at that level where, you drop in and you're even political about it, where you're like, I don't want to bump anyone. That's kind of what happened last night. You didn't want to bump the guy.
So I let him go up, and then I went up again after him.
Yeah. And that was, actually cool of you to do, because you said you could have bumped him.
Right.
And that is just the way it works. That's just kind of the chain. But did it take you a while to get used to that when you were at a level when you got bumped and couldn't even...
I used to love getting bumped. That's why, some of these young guys, I think, are just such little pussies, because it's like if Chappelle came in and bumped me, I'd be like, I get a free Chappelle ticket?
Right.
And I'd sit there and be like, oh my God, all these openers are, chasing the wrong tail. It's like, these guys on the road used to be like, yo, how do you headline, man? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? I'm like, when I was a feature, I'm like, how do I crush? How do I fuck the front row? I'm like, be in your head, not mine.
Right.
Don't think how do I headline? Think how do I destroy? And these are from people that aren't destroying. It's like, I used to get standing ovations as a feature. It's like, you better get to a level where it's weird that you're not headlining before you even bring that up. I'm like, you're not even close, bro.
Right.
And it's like, don't think how do I get to the next level of my career? Think of how do I get to the next level of my craft.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and you think
people don't think that way?
I was going to say, you think that is common sense.
Well, this industry, unlike like you guys aren't a part of this because like what you said, you were insulated with yourselves, and you're like, we're just dudes making funny videos. That's not that common. This industry attracts crazy people who want eyeballs on them. Where it's like, I just want fame and money and Hollywood Hills. And they don't even remember that they have to be funny. Like, it's almost like not in their heads.
Right.
It's like, what jokes are you working on? It's like, well, no, I had a meeting at New Wave, and then I'm fucking going over CA, and then I'm going to have a dinner. I'm like, but what joke did you write this week?
Right.
Like, did you go to the gym? Like, if you're going to fucking be in a movie, you better have a jawline.
Right. Yeah.
I got a little fat for a few years.
I got everybody. A few people said to you last night, "You look straight. You look good. You look good. You look good."
Yeah, because I got like that's the thing. Like when I used to be on the road, it's two roads in a woods.
Yeah.
You're either like you fucking slam food and booze. I was over 300 pounds for a little bit.
Holy
I
shit.
can like spread it out, but I was chubby, like fat chubby.
Right.
Yeah.
And I used to always just lie to myself and say I was more relatable. People would be like, I'd be like, no, fuck you, man, I'm relatable. And then I realized that I was getting depressed on the road, so I needed to, and like I always try to stay away from drugs and shit, so even prescriptions. So I'm like, I need endorphins. How do I do it? And then I got a trainer who like was teaching me about health and stuff.
Right.
And so I have to do at least an hour like crazy workout a day to keep the fucking demons
shit.
at bay.
Oh, so that's what you... Yeah, that's what you...
Yeah, especially on the road. Like, I'll go to a new city, like Salt Lake City. You're on a highway in a Best Western for 4 days. You don't know anyone. How do you not fucking hate yourself?
Right.
Where's the cross-country ski trails? You know, and then you, like, commit to a positive life, then everything comes together. And I've never gotten more work since I lost weight. Like, because, like, in the end of the day, our job is to create a world that advertisers want to sell their shit with. So the lie is eat Arby's and you look like this fucking chick.
Right.
Or this guy. You know, you kind of have, you know. I mean, it's like, you can still be relatable. Like, I think I might have went a little extreme just because of depression issues, but you can't be like, then again, I'm making the same mistake I tell people not to. I can fucking name 8 giant fat guys that are some of the funniest people and kill it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm almost doing what Richter did to me, where it's like, don't be fat. It's like, I'll show you, you know, Jonah Hill. He lost weight, no one laughed.
Right.
And he's like funny, chubbier.
Right.
So like, there's no fucking right answer. Everyone has their own right
People have
answer.
said that to me. I'm back up to the same weight I was in the first.
Well, you're not fat though at all.
I mean, I wear...
When I say fat, I mean like, I was like, the problem isn't body, it's face. Like when you look like a fucking bloated, like you're just in the East River for 3 days, it's like... It's like you just have a fat jaw, face.
Yeah.
People just don't want to look at you as much, you know?
Yeah.
And with my shit is so, like, male-female charged that I say some crazy shit about stuff. I have to be able to come across as a guy who gets laid a lot so I don't look hateful.
Like bitter and just...
Right. If I was, like, 300 pounds and I was like, you know, women are communists, men are capitalists, it's like... I better be able to back it up that it's not just because no one wants to fuck me.
Sure.
Like, I have to have a persona that's like... Chicks want to fuck me, but I still think this way. Versus, like, I'm just an angry fucking dude.
Do you think that you're a better comedian because you're so cerebral? Because you are. You are a cerebral motherfucker. You know that, right? Like, you recognize that. And like, you remind me of, like my buddy Scott Mosier, who produced all of Kevin Smith's movies. Like, anytime I'm in a room with him, I just shut the fuck up. I'm like, I want to hear him speak. And I find myself with you, I'm having that same experience. This is a fucking podcast. We're supposed to be interviewing you. And I'm just like...
Dude, I'm just sitting here. I'm literally sitting here like I'm just...
Like, just shut the fuck up and listen to you talk.
That's hilarious.
Do you think... You recognize that? You see that, right? Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have that, and do you think that makes you a better comedian because of that? Or
Well, I think it's the situation. I think since I'm doing your podcast, I want to give you guys some good material and, like, talk a lot and stuff. But, there's times when I'm silent, like when Vince Vaughn goes on one of his like things, I just listen and learn.
Right.
You know, every leader also has to be a good follower, else you're a shitty leader. You know, so it's like my whole childhood, I didn't even fucking talk. I just played the piano. They thought I was like possibly autistic.
Wow. And you shred on the fucking
Wait.
piano.
You're telling me you're not autistic?
Possibly a little bit.
Okay,
I swear to God, I think I have mild Asperger's syndrome.
Okay.
Because I can play any song and play it by ear immediately.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like a little like retarded.
Did you immediately infuse that into your routine?
No, I tried to stay away from it because I didn't want to be pigeonholed as a music guy.
Right.
Because, I mean, no one gets more shit than the guy with the
So
guitar.
how do you feel about that
You know
right
what I
now?
mean? It's like, oh boy, it's a guitar guy.
How do you feel about that right now in your career?
The thing that I like to do, and I've actually said this to crowds, like when there's tons of comics there, like every couple of months I'll do it just to remind people. I go, by the way, I'm 20 minutes in. I just got another applause break before I'm going to the piano. I want everyone to know that.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, now I'm going to the... Because back in the day, it's like, you're so funny. It's because you play the piano. I'm like, no, I crush, and then I play the piano. And I'm not going to ever let someone fucking
And you
pull that
too,
over
man.
me.
Dude, that fucking Starbucks, the penis fucking.
Oh, thanks, man.
Oh man, it's so.
That's
good.
new. It's like 3 months.
Yeah,
Because I did that hour special, so now I got to write new shit.
it feels like it's there. I mean, it's
That's getting there, yeah. I'm trying to develop the character of the Starbucks guy that hands out the coffees that has no right to be so arrogant.
Right,
It's like,
right,
no, Tina paid for that fucking macchiato. Piece of shit. Wait till you see what I do to you. Because I'm starting to like really nurture my Big Brother revenge vibe, where it's not like I like want to hurt anyone, but I want to like punish someone for being an asshole, because it's a whole comedy thing.
right.
You know, the whole like follow. Did I do the? Oh, I didn't do the bit last night about road rage. Did I? About following? Oh, fuck.
Do it now.
Oh, a bit about. I was at a red light turns green. Guy behind me honks for me to go. Man, I'm like, no, you don't talk to me like that. So I sat there, made sure that he was late. Then later I realized I might have been wrong, because I was in a parking garage. I was behind a car. Arm went up. I honked. The guy's like, I saw it, asshole. And then I realized that there's only one horn. I'm like, we need a second horn that's helpful. It's like, like a nice horn. And then how different.
Do you ever try and control the beep so it's like, because I
Very
do that.
mild?
Yeah, I'm like beep.
Yeah, but then like it always takes a little long.
But then I do the thing where I'm like beep, and then I pull my hand back.
Oh,
like,
you
dude.
gotta wave.
Yeah,
You gotta pull a wave.
I'm not
yeah.
being a dick, dude. I'm just letting you know.
But there's
gotta
a big difference between this and this.
Right. That's funny. Like that and this. Dude, because there's such a huge emotion change when someone waves. You're like, why should I fuck it? Oh, all good. You know, as soon as someone waves at you, you're like, great, we're good.
Yeah. Do you know? I know what that is. I actually read a study on that where they said like if you're walking in the mall and someone bumps into you, they don't even have to body language right away is like, boop, didn't mean to do it. Sorry. Like people.
Bro, I used to do a bit about that. That's really a
study.
study.
It's a real study.
I used to do a bit about how if we had horns walking, there'd be fist fights always. Or you know, like if you're like, yeah, because it's true. People are so courteous, but then in cars, you're detached. So yeah, it's almost like
I've seen them.
Human atrocities.
I've seen this bit.
Like human atrocity. It's like you can't kill people, but you can kill animals. That's why the degradation of like black people, Jewish people, all that stuff is a preamble to being able to kill them. It's the same with road rage.
Right.
Where it's like you're not attacking a person, you're attacking a Corolla.
Right.
You know, it's the same with like, you know, it's not a black person, it's an N-word person.
Right.
Because you have to do that in order to put them in chains, you know?
Right.
It's almost like a scientific move where it's like that's why they don't put names on prison uniforms as a number. Because it's like if you're going to beat the shit out of a number, it's not George.
Right.
It's fucking 9949, you know? Oh, bros.
Yeah.
So intense. We're going to do a spot soon.
Yeah.
Dude, this is solid.
Yeah, I know Dom's got to get out of here,
Yeah.
so we'll wrap it up. But talk about, just tell everybody what you're up to, because I'm dead positive after people hear this that our audience, they're going to want to see more. You started a podcast, you told me?
I just started one. It's not going to be live for a little bit, but I'll be able to tweet you guys all that stuff. It's at Owen Benjamin on Twitter, Owen Ben Jam on Instagram. I'm starting to get that firing.
Nice.
And then Facebook and all that shit. But I have a website. I'm just trying to stay relevant. But yeah, just tons of stand-up. We start shooting Sullivan and Son again in March.
You gonna get us on that show?
Yeah, we got to.
We want to be on it so bad.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Are you kidding? Yeah.
What kind of prep work you guys? It's all the week of, right? You have a you have a read, then a rehearsal.
Yeah.
We're off in March and April.
Oh, dude, you guys got to be on it.
Just to sit at the bar in the background in a scene. I would
You gotta
love
do it.
I would love it. It would be great.
Yeah, we had some of our friends are DJs in Pittsburgh, and they said the same thing. And Steve actually got him a couple lines.
It would be great. It would be so much fun for us.
You guys got to do it.
Just to come here and hang out. with you guys. And you're doing the was that announced yet? The festival in Nashville?
I don't know if it's announced, but it's fine. I mean, it's coming.
Yeah.
We're doing Vince is doing I think it's announced, right?
I'm not sure.
Either way, it's
Well, what is he going to get pissed us for?
he's going to get pissed at promoting it.
To how? Yeah.
Right. So it's we're Vince Vaughn's going to do a comedy festival in Nashville.
Yeah, and we're
That's
doing
gonna
that
be
too.
insane. Oh, it's awesome.
So we're gonna have a blast.
Nashville's one of the top 10 cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that city. I remember I opened for Nick Swartzen there once, the Ryman, and I'm partying with this band after. This is like probably 06, 07. I can't remember what fucking year. But I'm just partying with the band. We end up just like blacking out. We crash at their house, blah, blah, blah. We're like wrestling, fighting. You know, it's a blast. It's just bros. And I hear him like a week later on the radio, and it's the fucking Kings of Leon. And it's like, that's the city of Nashville. Like, you can literally, It's almost like that Toronto mayor where it's like, I just smoked crack with the mayor. It's like, the social, it's like people just rage there.
Right. Awesome.
Cool.
Well,
Do you want to try and do a phone call?
oh yeah. Let's try to do one quick.
Cool.
Why don't we try Syracuse?
Okay. Yeah.
What are we doing?
What we do at the end of every podcast, Sal tries to call a random number. He became obsessed with reaching out and communicating with a stranger, and we've never gotten through.
So we dial, and hopefully we just dial a random number. Hopefully someone picks up and hopefully engages us, and we just want to go from there.
That's genius.
Yeah. So we have not. We got a voicemail once, and we usually just get nobody. But what is the Syracuse area code?
Oh, sorry. Oh, shit.
That's all right.
315.
Oh, Dom's back. Dom, it's perfect. We're wrapping up.
I wasn't sure if I could
Dinner.
come in or not, and I was like just checking on you guys.
No, come on in.
So, dude, you really? I mean, wow, nice.
No, I didn't want to waste it.
No,
It's
he was
delicious.
just going to take it on the plane. So
My dad's from
die of
Syracuse,
starvation there because nothing was on the airline. That's fine. You should eat
It's all right. I'll get a $9 panini from the airport. No problem. Don't worry, guys.
315.
315. All right. How about 315-254-7789? All right. Here we go. Hopefully someone from Syracuse picks up the phone and we can...
You have reached the mailbox of 315.
Let's leave a message.
Wait a second. It's a fucking message. This never happens.
789.
Hey, my name is Sal, and I'm here with Brian, Owen, and Dom. We're doing a podcast where it's called What Say You, where we dial a random number. We try to talk to someone just by reaching out. And we dialed this number, and we got your voicemail. And although I cannot speak to you now because it's your voicemail, I would love it if you called me back. Call back this number anytime.
Right.
And then we can have you on another podcast next week. Does that make any sense? Should I say
Sure.
anything else?
No, that's
good.
perfect.
Oh, and if you don't call us back, we'll never call you again. Don't worry, you're not about to be harassed. But why don't you just give us a call and be part of the fun because it's a great time.
I'm a Somali prince and I desperately need money. I'm just kidding. We're not those people. We're just trying to chat with you, have some fun.
All right. Well, let's just hope. All right. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you for listening.
That was a real message in a bottle right there.
Right.
You're throwing a nickel in a well right there. I like it.
I didn't block my number first.
You dick.
It's all good.
Well,
Yeah.
all right, bring us out.
I mean, this is one of my favorite
Great.
episodes. You know, we've had on Roy and we've had on a couple of people. This was like school was in session.
It really was.
I really enjoyed talking to you, dude. You killed last night. You killed on the podcast. You're a great dude. And Dom, thank you so much
Thank
for the
you, Dom.
hospitality.
My pleasure.
The food was delicious. Let's plug your business too, Dom.
Domenico's Foods.
Domenico's, so tell them what they need to know, all the important information, Dom.
Sun-dried tomatoes, pesto, tapenades available online through the Cheese Store website, Amazon Fresh.
I'm obsessed with your tapenades.
Oh, thank you so much.
There you go.
I didn't even have to upsell.
It's the best stuff. Try it out. Dom's gonna be blowing. Dom is blowing up everywhere.
Domenico's Foods.
You're in Whole Foods, right?
Domenico'sFoods.com.
Love it.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you so much, guys.
Thank you for listening to What Say You, and we'll see you next week.
I heard that Rome wasn't built in a day. Then how come everyone is rushing to get ahead? And if I seem to be reserved, that's just my way. Your questions seem like you're interrogating me. Yeah, I try. Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a D next time. Okay. Here we go. I heard the lemon metaphor 4 million times. And I don't stand for lemonade, don't ask me why. And would a beverage stand be a job that be desired? And where would I get the wood, and should I try? Should I try? Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a 65. Yeah, I try. Yeah. Then again, I don't try. I get an F for effort. I might as well just. Haha. currency don't grow like leaves on trees, then how come my money comes and goes so seasonally? And I wish farmers planted plants instead of thieves. My friend pays a ton of green for greener groceries. Yeah, she tries, then again she don't try. She gets an F for effort. She'll plant a tree next time. Yeah, she tries, then again I don't try. I get an F for effort. I get a D next time. Yeah, I try.